Welcome to how to create your company default candidate list. Let's get started. Please note that we will be using Internet Explorer to do these updates. When you create your CSW steps, there is automatically 5 different list formats that are created, and that can be a lot to manage. So to help with that, what you can do is you can create one company default list per step and allow users to create their personal list formats. First, you want to see if there are more than one variation that is being used. So you will go to SmartOrg and go to Configuration Profile, and we're going to take a look at 2 of them. We're going to look at the Standard Hiring Manager. So when you get to the Configuration Profile, you can use your Refine By, do a name, and just type the word list and refresh. And you will see that they are using a variation 2. And if I return to Configuration Profile, I'm going to do another keyword, or I'm going to go to my Recruiter Standard, and I'm going to do the same refined by name. I'm just going to type list, click refresh, and they are using variation 2. So that means that I have 2 variations that I need to kind of update for my list format. So I'm going to go back to my main configuration. I am going to go into my recruiting administration, and you will see in my CSW that I have just created a new CSW, and I have 2 steps. So these were just created, and if I go back to my breadcrumb to administration and I click on my list format, in the requisition specific candidate list, I will see all of my steps. So I am going to take my step that I just showed you in the CSW, my first step. And when I click in there, you will see that there are automatically 5 that are created. Just take a minute. There we go. So these are the defaults that are created by any step. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to go to your columns and your contacts, and you want to click Add just to see if there are other fields that you want to make available to be selected when you are creating your personal list format or your company specific. So I'm going to add just a couple. I'm going to add cellular number and candidate attachment. And as I go through, so this is a good time that you want to take a look at maybe if you have user-defined fields that you created that you want to allow people to kind of just select to have in their list format. So I'm going to add one more, most advanced progression status. So I'm going to click Done. I'm going to go back to the format for this context, and I'm going to take the first one that is a default and it's active, and I'm going to rename it to whatever you want to name it. I'm just going to put company standard, new. And I can update my information here. So I'm going to do a couple of changes. I'm not using grade, but it's my new step. So I do want my education level and my grade. I want advanced progression. I want to be able to see the attachment, bring in the cellular number, and I am going to have my employer. So I'm going to do a reorder. I can move things around just by changing the sequence here. So if I wanted to have my most advanced progression at the beginning, you can see that it just kind of moves it up. So I just change the number, do the reorder. There are some that are not editable that will just be there. The next thing that you have to do is you have to select your sort. You just have to select one, but you are able to kind of select additional ones. So if you have a first sort by, then you can add the then by and another then by. So if I have other languages, I can just add just to kind of make sure that those are all the same. Go back to my base here, click done, and I'm going to go update spelling error. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to uncheck active for the rest of those other defaults that are there. You want to make sure that you are allowing the user type. So I'm in variation 1, and that was the recruiter. So anybody that has the recruiter configuration profile, you want to make sure that they have the permission to create their own list format. The other thing that you're going to do that you can is kind of selecting the tab in terms of where they would land. So I'm going to change it to land on the job submission tab instead of the history. So I'm going to click done. So now that is my step. You're going to repeat. So I'm going to do a variation 2. And you can see if I go to that list format, it hasn't followed through. So you need to kind of do the exact same steps on the variation that is being used. You can see that there are multiple list formats that you can do it, and you can see how many active formats are here. So the one that I just changed is, obviously, just one moment. I'm going to go back to my variation 2 to show you that. My first step, you can see that there is only 1 out of the 5. And you can do the same in terms of all candidates. So whether it's by the candidate pools or by offer or by requisition, your steps are identified by requisition specific. And if you scroll down, you will see at the bottom that there are list formats for search results as well. So let's just bring over the requisition just to kind of display that. So I'm going to search. I created a requisition already for it. So if I go to my all candidates, I need to click into the step new. So you can see this is my new step standard. There is no other selections, and I have the permission to create my personal list format. So every step can have its own list format. So that's something that you want to kind of talk about with your users to see what columns would help them be displayed in each one. And that's the end of creating company-specific list formats. Thank you.